Hi there, this is Mrs. Lake, and I'm going to do an art project with you today. And I'm going to use some watercolors, you can see here, and some paint. I have a paintbrush. I'm going to need a straw and some kind of black paint. This is what I could find, but you could use any kind of black paint. And we'll try it with the black watercolors as well. So you might just need a watercolor set and a straw. And you might not even need this. We'll figure something out. We'll have a couple different options in case you don't have things at home. So far I have, I'm just using some watercolors. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna put the yellow on. I'm gonna do a little bit yellow down here. If I just put some paint on, and then if I get some water, I can kind of, just water without, I can kind of blend my paints together. And so it makes it more like a cool looking sky. Okay, so I'm just putting some paint. So yeah, it's just sort of blending it together. Okay, I'll paint this and then we will go on with plan B. So I'm gonna do lighter. Usually around the horizon is lighter and usually up in the sky is a little darker. So here's some red. I'm gonna put some red on there. And then my plain water helps me kind of smear it around. Smear, 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 smear. Oops, kind of. See how just the plain water on top of my red just kind of makes it smear it around. So it kind of looks sunsetty. I'm just gonna finish this real quick. Oh, it turned out pretty good with the watercolors. Oops, there's some spots. So it kind of looks, it's maybe hard to see. Kind of looks more blendy in person than it does. So I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll come back with the cool thing we're gonna do with it. That's just our background, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna try it two different ways. I already kind of started. One is just using my watercolors, the black, and if you get a lot of, kind of really make a nice, it doesn't come out as dark, but you can still use it. And we're just doing not the whole tree, just some trunk-like things like that. And then I also used some of this just black paint, and you can get, this is tempera paint. You can also use like craft paint. Make sure maybe you're wearing some clothes that you don't need to wear again, except for painting or doing crafts or something else that's messy. And then this one, it just comes out darker, so that's kind of fun. And again, we're just doing like, not the whole tree, just sort of kind of some crazy branches. And you'll see why later. Okay, so just some like thick branches that you might see in a tree. I'm gonna get a lot of watercolor paint on my paintbrush, and I am going to put it here on my painting, like in a big splotch. Then I'm gonna take my straw and I'm gonna blow on it. Looks kind of weird. Let me see if it works a little better if I put a splotch of paint, my other kind of paint. They both look a little splotchy. Very splotchy, as a matter of fact. So let me experiment with this a little bit more. And that's the thing about art, which is so cool, is, you know what, if it doesn't turn out great, just paint over it or find a different way to get your idea that you have in your mind across. So I'm gonna put like a blotch there. Oh, that kind of turned out cool. See how that turned out? I actually like the watercolor better. That turned out just kind of blotchy. That turned out much better. So it's just kind of a fun way to make, they kind of look a little bit like spooky branches or something. Not that it has to be spooky, it could just also be a fall day. Let me just put some more blotches here, and then Okay, that's kind of cool. Do you see that? With it going up like that. Just making some, just me kind of making some branches. Yeah, I think that works out a little bit better. Let me continue on my merry way here. I'll do some more. Might want to put some newspaper down. Definitely ask your adult in your house to, if it's okay. And I think I have some blotches over here. So that's how it turned out and how it's supposed to turn out. And you can add more. Another thing you can do is to go back and maybe add like a little owl sitting there. And owls are kind of, I'm not like, and you just want like a silhouette. And so they kind of, you know, have the tail feathers down here. So you might have a little owl sitting on your tree. You might have a little cat or some bats hanging from it just for fun. But I kind of like my little owl. So there is your art project. Quick. So what if I wanted to do like green splotches? Uh-oh, I got some black on there. And then I just want to blow it. See? Green. And then maybe I just want to do that all over. And then, you know what you could do? You could take a Sharpie or a marker of some sort. And you could just make some funny people that way. Do you see that? Just for fun. I have one more thing to show you. So I think what we're going to do is a watercolors and a cup of water and a paintbrush that comes with the watercolors. That's all we really need to mess with. If you have a straw at home, you can use a straw, but if you don't, you can also do this. Watch this. Do some red. Red. That didn't come out very watery. Okay, so I want it watery, and then I can even just blow on it myself. If you don't have a straw. Look at that. Comes out kind of fun. Look at that. That's pretty crazy. Give it a try.